JB here, JB here. 3:31 on this fine Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. Really quick rant. I'll probably run out of breath. I apologize if I talk too fast. Talk about the market, some names I'm looking at. Go from there. S&P looks to make it another green day. All-time high close pending any craziness. Well, it's close. We'll see. And also, if you take a look, the S&P is now up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of the past 7 sessions. I was talking on the watch list 607 or so, which was I think it was December 6th, the second week in December. The highs there that looked like possible resistance. We're right there right now. We've been bouncing from 607.60 back down to 606 and change, and uh, so maybe we'll get a close right around there. I think that'll bode well. And then I still think that 610 is coming by Friday. Um, Also of note, where do I have? Do I have that up there? You know what? I didn't even. So today's rally is despite yields heading a little higher here today. So uh, some of that, and then you also look and small caps are taking it on the chin. So I don't know if they're a little more sensitive to the yields right now. I guess we'll find that out. But hopefully it's just some consolidation for small caps. But no catalyst really to speak of. We do have the Fed coming up next week, so we'll have to see how. I don't know if Powell can really disappoint the markets any more than he did in December. So you have to think that unless he comes out with even more hawkish spin, that pretty much eliminates the possibility of rate cuts in 2025. I don't think it's going to do much for markets. Uh, so that's that. Also, IWM right at the 50-day moving average is 230. So I would love to see that finally back over its 50-day moving average, but looks like we'll have to wait for tomorrow. So individual names. First, actually, I'll just talk quick about Netflix. I was actually looking to play possibly some spec calls for a move to into the thousands, maybe 1050, 1100 in the coming days. But Netflix opened and it was pretty much, it's been in a meltdown pretty much right since the open. And take a look at the chart, pretty remarkable stuff. So frustrating, right? So if you got the calls, the weekly strikes, you think you're going to have like the best day ever. And then you take a look and the only strikes that are green now in the weeklies are out of the money. Well, in the money strikes, right? So, uh, and so you have to pay a lot of risk to hold on to the calls to not make much money, right? So, unless you sold right at the open, to me, I mean, it looked like a setup. Like, hey, this is gonna be there's gonna be a continuation after the open. So possibly all time highs, profit takers. I think there'll be an opportunity to get some strikes. I was gonna dabble. I mean, you start looking at the $1,000 strikes, which were 360 or so. They're down 55%, but they're still a buck 80 by buck 90 with 2 days left. So I'll probably just wait on those. Yeah, look, the 950. So it's at 953 right now. The 950s are up, well, they're up 26%. So interesting stuff. A lot more earnings next week. So now some of the names I'm in. Sorry, folks. Adobe still. I mean, it's still green here. Well, it was green. Let's see. You know, I don't have my main. Slightly holding on to green. Yes. Sorry, Tim's. Uh, yes. You hear me? Am I on the audio? I hope I'm. It looks like I'm on the audio. But Adobe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Today will be 8 sessions in a row to the upside. I would love to see that 440 handle break and run. Looks like again we'll have to wait for tomorrow on that one. It's kind of frustrating. It's because we have the holiday shortened trading week. If it was a Tuesday, not too bad for some of these weekly strikes. But considering it's a Wednesday, only 2 more days left to expiration. The premiums, Wednesday is the worst day for premiums, right? That's well, Friday option expiration, obviously, but if there's any day in the week you don't want to see chopped, Wednesday's typically not. You want to either see it get its direction going or you want to be able to cut loose. But still a great pincher here. Once it breaks 440, if it does it tomorrow, I'll look for some strikes into next week to play for a larger upside move. Caterpillar, similar story. It looks like it's just consolidating here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If closed green, it'd be 7 straight sessions to the upside. It it looked like it was going to break to 400 in the morning, then chopped around, then all the way down to 395, then back up into 398.50. It's been just kind of holding that ground there. So maybe tomorrow's the run over 400. If that happens, I'm not going to add any more strikes on CAT. They report next week, so the premiums are tough. Unless I was getting weekly strikes, I'll just hold what I have there. But nice profits on the calls yesterday. Of course, hindsight's 2020. Could I have closed all of them when it broke over 400 yesterday? Probably, but I still want to have some FOMO calls for that possible move to 408. MDB, similar. It's like almost like a copycat session from yesterday, all the way up to 265 at the noon hour, and then a reverse course. Exact same thing it did yesterday, except yesterday went all the way down to 257. I mean, we still have time here with 24 minutes to the close. Maybe it does get to 257. I hope not, but still, if you take a look at the chart, nice little setup here, especially if you can start to find some footing. Now looks like 265 is the key spot. So if it gets over 265 tomorrow, I might look for some strikes into next week. Let's see here. Other names. Oh, so I was looking for some names to play some reversal. Well, I would say reversal, but semis were strong. Take a look at Nvidia, just monster, especially on that AI news, which is a lot of different backstories to what's going on with that. But uh, some names I always look at, and Arista Networks was a name I used to trade a lot pre-split. So that was starting to move and looked strong in the morning. I was almost looking to get calls. Danger got some, and I was looking at 134, 135s, and then I'm looking at AMD, and I always kind of look at AMD, and I always talk about it as like the stepchild, right? Never doesn't get as much love. Take a look. I mean, the stock was 170 bucks back in October, and just looks like it was going to bounce to start the year. Then it takes a hit in mid-January, hits multi-year lows down to 115, and then it's been slow and steady. It's like one of these slow and steady move ups are going to result in a larger 5, 7, 8% move. I thought today would be the day. Went and got some spec calls. Looks like that's not going to happen today. So still hopeful for the calls there. And also you look at the 50-day moving average right at 130. So that could be a key breakout spot. I'll continue to look for opportunities to play AMD for upside, depending, if it can find some strength. If it has follow through tomorrow, I think that'll bode well, and that'd be a good sign. Also, you look, that 130 handle is kind of where it found some resistance to start the year. So that's a key spot. So if you can get over 130, and I think maybe it's one of those situations where it starts to 140, 145. I got to check when the earnings are. And usually AMD's it's before NVIDIA, but it's a little later in the earnings season. What else to say here about Roku? I actually just went back into the red. If you looked at the chart just before when I was pulling up to do the slides here, it was in the green, and you wouldn't even know. Wow, not a decent session. Consolidated yesterday's analyst initiation, but then you realize that Netflix just reported its best sub ad in its history. Stock is soaring, and you would think that would just bode well for that entire sector as a whole. And true enough, Roku doing what Roku does. It's right here at 70, 79.59. I would love to see it hold that 80 handle. Uh, Still hopeful. Me, I'm always looking at the glass half full situation on this one, but also starting to look for the February strike. So we'll see how it plays out tomorrow. If it holds around here, 78, 79, I'll look for those February strikes to encompass earnings. A TripAdvisor was flat as a pancake when I put the slide, and all of a sudden it dropped about 10 cents. Nothing's changed here. It just looks like consolidation right at the upper Bollinger Band. At some point, it's ready to rock and roll and start heading up near at 1666. That's a key spot. I'm trying to think of some of the other names here. I think that's about it. Sorry, the rant's a little quick this afternoon. I'm trying to think of some of the other names I was looking. Oh, Dell. Yeah, so Dell, I forget who posted in the chat room yesterday. It was like 112, 114, and then that started to go. It was breaking 120. I was almost looking at some higher inexpensive spec calls, like 130s. And then sure enough, Dell just reversed all that too. It's down here at 116. Still up solidly for the day. Yeah, that's it, folks. Have a great afternoon. I'll be back. Rock and roll.